Hello, everyone. I have a thing for you. Check this out. A cute baby, an old lady, complicated theories. Tell me what that means. Today's lesson is going to be describing expressions and equations. Specifically, I want you to be able to tell the difference between the two. I should be able to give you a mathematical statement, and you need to tell me, is that an expression or an equation? Back to this. A cute baby, an old lady, complicated theories. You were probably able to come up with something that means, maybe start to tell a story even with it. But what you'll notice is that does not tell you the whole story. It does not give you a complete thought. In terms of English, if we were thinking of this like English class, we would describe this as a phrase. It is a sentence fragment. It's descriptive. It tells us a little bit about something, but it is not a complete thought like a sentence is. So we have these two ideas. We have a phrase, like this one, that gives us a little bit of information, but isn't complete, or isn't a complete thought. And we have sentences, which are full and complete thoughts. Well, math, just like English, is a language. It's a way of communicating ideas. And two of the important structures that we'll talk about in terms of math as a language are the ideas of expressions and equations. So let's start with expressions. An expression is just a mathematical phrase. Now remember, we said a phrase wasn't like a complete thought altogether. And it does not contain an equal sign. That is the key feature of this that we're looking for. Expressions do not contain equal signs. And the purpose of an expression is to describe a number. For instance, if we look at 5 plus 3 times 2 minus 4, we could simplify that down into a number. Let's look at one that's maybe even more simple than that. Let's take the phrase, the expression, 3 plus 2. This doesn't have an equal sign, so it is an expression, but it represents a number. I can take this number and simplify it down, or I can take this expression rather and simplify it down until it is just a number. 3 plus 2 is 5. And so this right here that doesn't have an equal sign is called an expression. This right here would be an expression as well, both of them just representing numbers. Now the flip side of that, whereas an expression is just a phrase that describes a number, we have equations. And equations are mathematical sentences, and they do contain equal signs, which is easy enough to remember. Equations have equal signs. And the purpose of an equation is to show the relationship between two values, in particular to show that those two values are the same or equal. So to give you an example of that, I could say 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So what that shows us is that this value right here and this value right here, there is a relationship between those. They are equal. They are exactly the same. So again, an equation is a sentence that shows a relationship between two values. And those two values that the relationship is being shown between are just in fact expressions. So another way of defining an equation would be to say it's two expressions linked together by an equal sign. And remember, we said expressions are just ways of describing numbers. 6 times 4, well, that's 24 minus 20 equals 4. 24 minus 20 is 4. And so what I can see is that this expression simplifies down into 4. This expression is 4. And so I'm showing that these are exactly the same by putting an equal sign together. And so this is just some basic ideas of the language of mathematics. We can describe a number using an expression, or we can describe relationships between numbers using an equation. So now, to recap this a little bit, we have expressions. And expressions, we know, do not contain equal signs. So no equal signs at all in expressions. And we also know that they're phrases. They're not complete thoughts. They're just phrases that represent a number. So representing a number. And then on the flip side of that, if we were to talk about equations, an equation does in fact contain an equal sign, kind of where it gets its name. So we'll say it has an equal sign. And an equation describes a relationship. So it describes a relationship between expressions. And since expressions describes numbers, it's really just describing a relationship between two numbers. So those are expressions and equations. Remember, I want to be able to give you one or the other, and you identify which is which. Remember, expressions have equal signs, equations don't.